Guys, I am pissed. So, I went to the doctor yesterday. It was my first doctor's appointment in like 1 year. Last year in May, I went to all the doctors in Germany, had like a little hormonal imbalance and like some other stuff. So I finally got this doctor's appointment. And I go there, fill out all the forms, answer all those like ridiculous questions. I'm sorry, but why do I have to answer 6 times if I'm single, married, or divorced? Like 1 time is enough, and also like, why do you have to know that? But okay, demographics, I get it. I talked to the nurse first. She asked me all those questions. Why I'm there, I explained that I had an eating disorder for 10 years, that I still like suffer from like some things. And she asked me my weight, my height, all those things, and then she wants to weigh me again. I'm like, I prefer not to be weighed. No problem at all. So I go into the doctor's room. I wait for the 79-year-old doctor that my insurance told me to go to because I can't choose my own doctor. So he comes in, nice old man, little bit hard on the ears, but I tell him my story, and he like starts to ask standard questions, which is okay. Like, asks me all those questions, and then he asks if I'm married. I say no. He's like, oh, why? You're 28. I'm like, I don't answer that because, I'm like, that's not what I'm there for. He's like, are you in a relationship? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay. I'm a little bit confused, but I really want to like get all these things checked. So I look back at my list and I'm like, okay, so I would like to get this and this and this checked. I was like very clear about it because I really don't like my time wasted. And I already had a weird feeling about the doctor's appointment, I'm not gonna lie, but the story I'm about to tell you tops everything. So I insist to talk about my issues, tell him about my thyroid, tell him about my hormonal imbalance. He looks at me and he asks if I'm on the pill. I say no. Then he asks me again if I'm married, which I already answered. I tell him the medication I take, which is just like 2 different things. And he proceeds to ask me, are you taking this? Are you taking that? Are you taking this? And I'm like, no, I literally just take what I just told you. He proceeds to ask me if I was ever pregnant, if I had any abortions. I was like, no, I wasn't really able to become pregnant. He's like, oh, why? I'm like, because of what I just told you. He's like, oh, yeah, okay. I'm like, so I also had a bone density check a couple of years ago and was not very good. So I would like to get my bone density checked again to see if there was any improvement. He looks at me and he's like, you're way too young for osteoporosis. I'm like, yeah, like I just said, I was anorexic for 10 years. And before I can finish my sentence, he looks at me and he's like, except if you're taking steroids. I mean, steroids can like lead to osteoporosis. And you just told me that you're working out. Are you taking steroids? I'm like, no, I was fucking anorexic for 10 years. So he proceeds to gaslight me, telling me there's no way I have or had osteoporosis, which I literally have black on white. But I stay calm. I'm like, well, I know the test results and I insist on getting that checked because it's my body. And then once again, he asks me about a certain medication. It says, well, if you had osteoporosis, you should take that. Are you taking that? I'm like, no, I'm still just taking the 2 medications I just told you about. He's like, oh, why aren't you taking that? I was like, well, nobody ever prescribed it to me, okay? Then he asked me again if I'm taking steroids. In the beginning of my appointment, I gave them a weight. I don't weigh myself at the moment. Last time I got weighed was in urgent care in December. It was a little disaster, to be honest. So I try not to be weighed. I just gave them the weight that they had there. I know that I worked out a little bit since then, but honestly, I don't even want to concentrate on that right now. Like, I don't want to know if I weigh like 5 or 10 pounds more or less, because I honestly feel so good in my body right now. Like, especially this last couple of weeks, I was like in my workout routine. I'm really like happy, and I don't let any doctor destroy that for me. But the weight that I gave to him was apparently a little bit too high for him, because he looks at the weight and he looks at me and he's like, are you on a diet right now? I'm like, no. He's like, are you taking something to lose weight? I'm like, no. And I look at him and I'm like, I really don't want to concentrate on that right now because I don't want to slip into old habits. I literally told him 3 times that I was anorexic for a very long time, that I just got out of recovery, that I'm doing great, but that I don't want to go back. He's like, well, you also mentioned you have kidney pain, right? So oftentimes when we have pain, like losing weight helps. This is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard. If a person goes to the doctor telling them they are in pain, the first thing you do is like telling them to lose weight without even checking, without even getting blood work done, without even checking what else it could be. I literally told him what I thought it was. He didn't want to hear that. He just was like, do you know your BMI by chance? I look at him and I'm like, no, as I just said, I don't want to concentrate on that. He's like, oh, you know, you could lose a little bit weight, like 15, 20 pounds. I don't say anything. I was like, honestly, I was so shocked. I was literally about to cry because I was angry, which is good because I still have a problem to feel anger. So I think this is a very good thing. But I have no words. And then he looks at me and he's like, can you do that? I mean, yes, I fucking could do that. I know that I could. But I'm not gonna prove you, and I don't want to. That's the thing. And the thing is, this is what fucked me up 10 years ago. 10 years ago, when I was 17 years old, struggled with my mental health, struggled with undereating, I went to a doctor, a male old doctor, who literally told me the same thing and was like, oh, it's not that bad. You still have a little puffer, which led to the fact that I wanted to show him how bad it could be so that by the next doctor's visit, I was heavily underweight. And of course, I'm not going to do that because I'm in a much better place. I also talked to a friend earlier and she was like, wow, look at you. Like, instead of saying, oh my gosh, I have to lose weight because some doctor told me, you're now in a place where you're like, I don't even want to lose weight because I like the way I live right now. I like the way I eat. I like the way I move. And there's nothing I want to change about it. And I stand with this. But the fact that this happened made me so angry. So he didn't want to like run my blood and get my blood work done. Instead, he sent me to a gynecologist to get my blood work done for whatever reason. I'm about to leave the office, turn around, say goodbye, and he's like, oh, and good luck with your engagement. After the doctor's appointment, I talked to my boyfriend, I talked to my roommate, like just let it out, which was very helpful. And so I decided to make a video about medical gaslighting today. So earlier today, I used my 2 Instagram accounts to create the question stickers and asked if you were ever dismissed by a doctor. And hell, oh hell, I got so many answers. And first of all, guys, I'm so sorry. Like, it's ridiculous. Let me just share a couple of answers with you. Pressure was borderline too high for the pill. She wouldn't help me and just told me that I was hysterical. Of course, we women are always hysterical. Second person said, barely walk or sit because I had a vertebral blockage. First doctor said it was because of my depression, and the second one said I just needed to relax more. And here's the thing, I feel like we have or had some mental issues in our past, doctors love to dismiss us. Like, they don't even want to check if there's something going on in our bodies. It's like psychosomatic all of a sudden. This happened to me too last year. Like, I literally needed to beg my doctor for 6 weeks straight to check on my hormones, to check on my thyroid hormones, because he was like, oh no, you're just like being psychosomatic, there's nothing wrong. Then he checked them and it turned out I had hypothyroidism, which is not surprising because if you just know a little bit about eating disorders, you know that this is a very common thing. But instead of like just checking it, you have me begging you for 6 weeks. The next answer really shocked me. I talked to the person, they seemed to be okay. It was like a couple of months ago, they seemed to be in a better place, but still. I went to the doctor seeking for help, looking for a therapist, and I was told I wasn't anorexic enough yet. You weren't? See, this is the thing. I just told you that this is what fucked me up 10 years ago. And there are like 100 billion stories more like this. People getting dismissed, like doctors being like, oh, it's psychosomatic. So the problem with the thing is, just because you're a doctor doesn't mean you know everything. And I get it. I know they are overbooked. I know they don't have a lot of time. But honestly, the person I talked to yesterday was 79 years old and like they didn't have any kind of training in like at least 60 years. And I know that I'm ranting right now, but this whole situation made me so mad because I literally, when I went to urgent care in December, it really triggered me. And the situation yesterday actually showed me that I made a lot of progress because yeah, there is a part of me that could be like, oh, I'm gonna lose weight and I'm gonna show him. But honestly, this person won't even care. Like, he won't even like reflect on himself. He won't even have the self-awareness to understand what his words can do to other people. Yes, I'm probably gonna write a bad review. I was also thinking about reporting him. I don't know about that yet. But it made me so angry. It made me so angry. The thing about medical gaslighting is many people already struggle with going to the doctor. Like, I still don't like it. When I was very sick, I didn't have such a problem. But right now that I'm like in a healthy body, people actually treat me different, but not in a respectful way. They're like, oh, but you're fine now, so... Like, yeah, just because I'm not underweight anymore doesn't mean that there's nothing wrong. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with me, but I want to make sure. Like, I'm finally in a stage where I want to take care of my body and where I want to become the healthiest version of myself. And you're dismissing me and telling me the only reason why I could have osteoporosis is that I'm on steroids, and like asking me 3 times if I'm on steroids? Bro, what the fuck? I'm sorry, I know this video is like very different from my usual content. I'm still a little bit surprised that I'm like so heated, but at the same time, I'm so passionate about the topic. I love talking to you guys about it. I love answering all your questions. Please continue to send me questions on all the platforms. I really appreciate your trust. But this is so harmful. Like, that could be another person going to that very doctor, having like struggling with their mental health or struggling with their, you know, with under eating or whatever, and him like dismissing them could like lead to worse. I honestly don't really know what to tell you, because normally I love to like include a little tip at the end of my videos, but I mean, I don't even know what to do. Like, I think I was very clear with my intentions. I wasn't unfriendly with him, but I was very clear. Like, a couple of years ago, I probably would have just like left the office and crying or whatever. But I was very clear, and I was like, I don't want to concentrate on that right now. I don't want to know my BMI. Like, because I was so clear, he treated me even differently. I don't know if he thought I'm being hypochondriac or whatever, but honestly, this person saw me for the very first time. I know my story, I know my body, and it's my damn right to get it checked. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do those blood tests. I'm gonna talk to him again, like, just to see the results. Of course, I'm not gonna go on any stupid diet just because he wants me to. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my blood test. I'm gonna go over there again to like get them reviewed, and afterwards I'm gonna call my insurance and ask for another doctor. And if they ask me why, I'm gonna tell them exactly why, because I don't want to keep up with that. I don't want to be in a weird mood every time I have to go to the doctor, because I already know that he won't really listen to me or that he's gonna dismiss me. So if you're in a situation like that and you have the chance to go to another doctor, please try to do so. I know it's a privilege and I know it's hard, but don't ever let anyone tell you that you have to lose weight, especially if you're suffering from an eating disorder or if you're in recovery, but also like in other cases. Like, who are those people telling you that the pain in your kidneys could be cured by losing weight? That's where the pain in my kidneys came from. Just retire, man. Just retire. Again, guys, I'm really sorry. I know I'm in a very different mood today, but I had to get that out of my chest. I hope it helps you. Of course, I hope you can't relate, because I really hope that no one else has to go through something like this. But like, the answers to the stickers said everything already. So let me know in the comments if you've ever been dismissed by a doctor, how you cope with it, what you think about it, and I'll see you in the next one, and I promise I'm gonna be more positive. And on a positive note at the end, I really appreciate you guys. I hope you have a great weekend, and don't let anyone bring you down. Don't listen to any stupid comments. I won't listen to it.